For 400 years, an isolated Japanese village has maintained a 0% diabetes rate despite surviving on an 85% carbohydrate diet. Big Pharma is absolutely terrified you will discover their unpatentable, zero-cost secret. What you are about to hear will shatter everything you thought you knew about your health. Imagine a place where the scent of insulin does not exist. No sterile dials of glucose monitors, no phantom pains from amputated limbs, no dialysis machines humming in the cold hospital wards. You are stepping into the most profound medical anomaly on the face of the earth, the remote village of Ogimi, hidden within the Okinawa archipelago of Japan. For 400 recorded years, the rate of type 2 diabetes in this community has remained an absolute, undeniable zero. At Healthy Aging US warmly welcomes you to a journey that might just shatter everything you thought you knew about your own body and the diseases you fear. If you are ready to uncover the truths that the medical establishment has buried, please hit that subscribe button right now to support our channel and fuel our mission to bring you these life-saving revelations. The moment you mention Ogimi, the modern medical machine and the programmed minds of Big Pharma will immediately try to force-feed you their comfortable lies. They will tell you these people possess some supreme mutant genetics. They will whisper about mythical mountain herbs or claim these elders labor like Olympic athletes. Erase those baseless illusions from your mind right now. Their human physiology is exactly the same as yours and mine. So why hasn't the American Diabetes Association or the pharmaceutical titans etched the Ogimi nutritional blueprint into every medical textbook? The answer is buried in the cold, hard nature of a trillion-dollar industry. You cannot patent a way of life, and you certainly cannot reap endless profits from meals that cost mere pennies. This cover-up is not some theatrical conspiracy hatched in a smoky back room. It is a calculated, deliberate ignorance of a healing model that is simply too cheap, too accessible, and utterly unprofitable. Pioneering researchers Dr. Makoto Suzuki and Dr. Craig Wilcox finally shattered the genetic lottery myth, and they did it through a heartbreaking reality: the paradox of the Okinawan youth. When the younger generation abandoned their ancestral dining tables for the toxic seduction of Western diets, drowning in refined sugars and trans fats, their rates of obesity and type 2 diabetes violently exploded, eclipsing even the national average of Japan. Visualize your body as a glass fish tank. Your genetics are the fish, but your diet and environment are the water. When the fish gets sick, modern medicine frantically shoves chemical pills down its throat, completely ignoring the terrifying reality that the water in the tank is profoundly contaminated. The generational tragedy of Okinawa proves a brutal biological truth. Your daily diet dictates 2/3 of your lifespan and the physical expression of your diseases. Your DNA blueprint is merely a footnote. It is the nutritional environment that pulls the trigger, deciding which genetic diseases wake up and which stay permanently dormant. You are not eternally condemned by your family's medical history. If you feel a burning anger that the medical system has hidden this biological power from you for far too long, pause for just 3 seconds, scroll down to the comments and type, "I deserve the truth." The algorithm needs to know that we are finally taking our health back. To reclaim that truth, we must first look at the very foundation of what goes onto the plate in Ogimi, a dietary framework that completely defies and embarrasses modern Western nutritional dogma. If you ask a conventional doctor today how to stop diabetes, they will aggressively demonize carbohydrates, pushing you toward expensive protein powders and restrictive fad diets. Yet, the elders of Okinawa consume a diet where almost 85% of their daily calories come directly from carbohydrates. This is the ultimate metabolic paradox that breaks the brains of modern dietitians. They are not eating bread stripped of its life force or cereals engineered in a laboratory. Their survival relies on the imo, a vibrantly purple sweet potato pulled straight from the volcanic soil, packed with dense, slow-burning complex fibers and an antioxidant profile that literally acts as armor for their cells. This is food as profound medicine, requiring no prescription. But the secret of Ogimi is not just found in what they eat, it is deeply rooted in how they eat. Before a single bite is taken, they whisper a phrase rooted in ancient Confucianism, Hara Hachi Bu. It translates to eating only until you are 80% full. They do not gorge until their stomachs stretch in agony. They do not eat to numb emotional pain or distract themselves from the stress of a chaotic world. They eat to sustain life, stopping at the precise moment their body is nourished, leaving a 20% caloric void that forces the digestive system to rest and the cellular cleanup process to begin. This single, free psychological practice drastically reduces insulin spikes and prevents the visceral fat accumulation that acts as the breeding ground for metabolic disease. It is a profound reverence for the human machine. The tragedy is that we have lost this sacred connection to our food, trading mindful nourishment for a culture of mindless, perpetual consumption that leaves us overfed, yet starving on a cellular level. Contrast this profound reverence for the body with the metabolic slaughterhouse we have normalized in the modern supermarket. When you walk down the aisles of your local grocery store, you are not navigating a landscape of nutrition. You are walking through a meticulously designed minefield of chemical addiction. The explosion of type 2 diabetes in the West is not a sudden failure of human willpower or a tragic coincidence. It is the direct, calculated result of an ultra-processed food industry that treats your metabolic health as collateral damage for quarterly profits. They have hijacked our ancestral survival instincts, engineering hyper-palatable synthetic foods loaded with high-fructose corn syrup, bleached flours, and inflammatory seed oils. These frankenfoods are specifically formulated in laboratories to bypass your brain's natural satiety signals, ensuring that you never hit that 80% fullness mark the Okinawans cherish. Instead, your dopamine receptors are battered into submission, keeping your mouth chewing while your pancreas works violently overtime to pump out enough insulin to handle the toxic sugar load. Over years and decades, your cells become deaf to the insulin. The sugar backs up in your bloodstream, and the chronic decay of type 2 diabetes sets in. We are being slowly poisoned by the very institutions we trust to feed our families. And then, we are handed over to the pharmaceutical industry, which eagerly rents us our health back in the form of daily injections and synthetic pills. They do not want to cure your metabolic dysfunction because a cured patient is a lost customer. You are caught in a devastating loop between the food giants that make you sick and the drug giants that manage your sickness, both profiting immensely off your slow biological decline. Escaping this engineered death trap does not require you to pack your bags and move to a remote Japanese island. It requires a fierce, uncompromising commitment to aggressively change your internal environment right where you are. Rebuilding the water in your biological fish tank starts with stripping away the synthetic garbage and returning to the earth. You must become ruthless about what you allow past your lips. Your new blueprint demands replacing hollow, processed carbohydrates with heavy, fibrous, single-ingredient foods that look exactly as they did when they were pulled from the ground. When you flood your gut microbiome with massive amounts of soluble and insoluble fiber from root vegetables, legumes, and dark leafy greens, you physically slow down the absorption of glucose. You create a natural barrier that stops the violent insulin spikes dead in their tracks. This is how you begin to reverse the damage. You must also adopt the mental fortitude of Hara Hachi Bu, retraining your brain to listen to the whispers of your stomach rather than the screaming cravings of your sugar addiction. Put your fork down between bites. Look at your food. Respect the process of nourishment. When you consistently eat real food and stop before you are stuffed, a miraculous physiological resurrection occurs. Your insulin sensitivity begins to wake up from its coma. Your liver starts dumping the toxic visceral fat it has hoarded for years. The chronic inflammation that has been silently burning through your blood vessels is finally extinguished. Your body desperately wants to heal itself. It is a self-repairing machine of unfathomable power. But it cannot execute the repairs if you are constantly handing it a sledgehammer instead of a wrench. You hold the ultimate authority to rewrite your metabolic destiny. This journey of metabolic resurrection ultimately forces you to make a definitive choice between comforting complacency and courageous transformation. You can continue to outsource your health to a medical system that treats you as a walking billing code, accepting the grim narrative that chronic disease is just an inevitable part of getting older. Or, you can look at the 400 years of documented, undeniable proof from Ogimi and realize that vibrant, disease-free longevity is your biological birthright. The truth is terrifying to the establishment because it places the power entirely back into your hands. Your kitchen is your pharmacy. Your daily habits are your most potent medical interventions. It is time to stop playing the victim to genetics and start becoming the architect of your environment. You are going to face resistance, not just from the food landscape, but from friends and family who are still deeply asleep in the matrix of modern consumption. Let them watch you heal. Let your transformed energy, your shrinking waistline, and your normalized blood panels serve as the undeniable evidence that the human body can conquer the diseases we were told were permanent. If this message has awakened something inside of you today, if you are ready to draw a line in the sand and take radical ownership of your future, we need you in this fight. Share this video with someone you love who is suffering under the weight of metabolic disease. Hit the like button to force this truth through the algorithms, and make sure you are subscribed to @HealthyAgingUS so you never miss a weapon in our ongoing war for your vitality. The era of blind obedience is over. The dawn of your healing begins right now. The epidemic of the metabolic disease and type debility script, we become a metabolic disease in the 8. The development of the video is one of this is in the world. The epidemic of metabolic disease and stop bringing the online with tump in the including video. The nace of this again of the epidemic of metabolic disease because the rote that the course to is not before. The epidemic of metabolic disease we become of one and shorter to the time. The sequency is opening, the following of metabolic disease is not before. The epidemic of metabolic disease, the online worn stand is the great of your healingment. The epidemic of tump would be a keep that and the captive of anywhere, then serve as out to the war of your vitality. The innovative metabolic disease we become of one in shorter to the time. The 2 minutes of already because the development of metabolic disease we play them to the war in formation for tum. The keat metabolic disease. The developments of ultra-processed food environment designed for addiction and profit. By observing the elders of Ogimi, Okinawa, we uncover a stark contrast to our modern dietary destruction. They thrive on a high-carbohydrate, whole food diet anchored by nutrient-dense, earth-grown foods like the purple sweet potato, proving that natural carbohydrates are not the enemy. Synthetic, engineered frankenfoods are. More importantly, their ancient psychological practice of Hara Hachi Bu, eating only until 80% full, provides a profound, cost-free intervention that allows the digestive system to rest and triggers cellular repair rather than perpetual insulin overload. Escaping the modern metabolic death trap requires a radical shift in personal responsibility. It demands that we stop outsourcing our well-being to a medical industrial complex that profits from chronic sickness, and instead turn our kitchens into our primary pharmacies. By replacing chemical-laden, hyper-palatable garbage with single-ingredient, fibrous whole foods, we can physically halt violent insulin spikes and awaken the body's innate ability to heal itself. This is an ongoing battle against a toxic food culture, but it is one you can absolutely win by becoming the uncompromising architect of your own internal environment. The blueprint for disease-free longevity exists, and reclaiming your vitality starts with the very next bite you take. Your metabolic health is not a fixed destiny dictated by genetics. It is a daily reflection of the environment you create for your cells. The modern food industry thrives on your biological complacency, selling you toxic convenience, while the pharmaceutical industry rents you back your health. True longevity is not found in a pill, but in a return to mindful, ancestral nourishment. Your body is a miraculous, self-repairing machine. Once you stop handing it the sledgehammer of engineered junk food, it will naturally begin the work of profound healing. Practice Hara Hachi Bu. Stop eating when you feel 80% full. Put your fork down between bites, chew your food slowly, and eliminate digital distractions while eating so you can actually hear your body's satiety signals. Audit your pantry. Ruthlessly remove ultra-processed foods, high-fructose corn syrup, and inflammatory seed oils from your home. If it is manufactured in a lab to sit on a shelf for years, do not put it in your body. Embrace earth-grown carbohydrates. Stop fearing real food. Swap bleached flours and sugary snacks for dense, single-ingredient, high-fiber foods like root vegetables, legumes, and dark, leafy greens to naturally stabilize your blood sugar. Own your interventions. Treat every meal as a medical decision. Cook at home as often as possible so you retain absolute authority over the ingredients building your future biology. What is one processed food you know you need to cut out of your daily routine? Or one whole food you are going to start eating more of? Please share your thoughts in the comments below so we can all learn and draw inspiration from each other's journeys. If you found value in this message and want to take back your health, please hit the subscribe button to support the channel. Your support gives us the motivation to keep creating powerful, life-changing content for you.